stay up late or eat the junk and this and that. But when you're trying to be a national champ, it makes it, when it's late at night, you kind of go to bed because you got to get up and you got business to handle the next day. When you don't got nothing going on, maybe you sleep in. So I think it's good to have goals set and just something to strive towards.
What's up, boys and girls? We are here live at the Lugo Show with the one and only Cory Clark, Iowa Hawkeye, Division I NCAA national champion. What's up, Cory?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Tell me about your first day. Miami Hawks camp brought you down. What do you think?
First day, I think it went well. We got a good group of kids, a lot of new faces to me, and just teaching wrestling. It's something that I've freaking did for 20 years, wrestled my whole life, so it's good. It feels good to come down to Miami, make it a little trip, and then give back to the next generation, teach them all the little things I learned throughout my life.
So you have your club, right? Your
Yep.
club in, what's it called?
In Lombard, it's like right outside of Chicago. So,
And how long you been doing that?
just not quite 2 years, just coming up on 2 years, so
2 years.
going
And then,
well.
I know when we spoke off camera, you were like, it's better to deal with the younger generation, the fresher guys. Can you explain why?
I don't want to offend anybody, but it's harder to work with kids that have 8 years of bad habits than it is to work with an 8-year-old that's never wrestled before. Just they don't have those habits built up to where you have to unteach them a lot of stuff to reteach them the right way to do things. You can kind of just teach them the right way from the get and build their habits. So I feel like it's a little bit easier to get the younger class all on the same page. Yeah, they talk a little bit more and they have their own issues that you got to deal with, but it's not as much breaking bad habits. It's more just kind of teaching them good habits. So
Right.
I enjoy both groups, but it's just a little easier to get the youth class on the same page.
Bad habits die hard, right? That's the saying.
Yeah.
I'll be dead by now.
You be dead.
Be dead. I'll be long gone by now.
So something I emphasize here at the camp is being a professional. Professionalism and living the right lifestyle is something I tell the kids a lot. So what is something you tell your kids at your club?
Very similar. I talk to them about just how wrestling is related to life. Like the lessons you learn in wrestling, you can use throughout your life. And wrestling, when you work hard, you get your hand raised, you get good results. In life, when you work hard, you get the job promotion, you make more money. It's the same concept. And just setting high goals. We talk about setting high goals to keep your head on straight. When you don't have any goals, it's easy to stay up late or eat the junk and this and that. But when you're trying to be a national champ, it makes it, when it's late at night, you kind of go to bed because you got to get up and you got business to handle the next day. When you don't got nothing going on, maybe you sleep in. So I think it's good to have goals set and just something to strive towards, just to help keep you in line and keep you going and towards progressing towards something. So I use wrestling and life as a good reference for my club a lot as well.
For sure, and then that kind of gives you a purpose, right? Getting that goal. I know when I stopped competing, there's no purpose no more. There's no why am I training? So it's harder to get out of bed, like you're saying. That's kind of where that depression kind of sneaks in too. Where am I headed? So now that I come down here, I kind of have more purpose, giving back to the kids. That's my purpose. That the more I help others, the more I help myself. So I kind of why I try to think right now. So I'm happy that about me.
That's
good words I put together right there.
Honestly, it's spot on. That's spot on how I feel too. Spot on. Just
Cory, question. So you're Iowa guy. How many years did you actually do at Iowa?
So I redshirted, then I had 4 years in college.
So total of 5.
5 years, for the university, and then I was with the Hawkeye Wrestling Club for 3 years.
So normally guys would graduate from college and they would transition into the HWCs and the clubs. What was it like for you to go from the Hawkeye Wrestling Club to now, let me take a step back and create my own club. You know, that's a step. You know, because not only are you stepping outside the box and putting something together as a business wise. You know, what was that like for you? What was like? You know, I know that a lot played into it.
Right. That's a tricky question. I mean, there's a lot, like you said, there's a lot that goes into it. I learned a lot about there's a lot more work than what just happens on the mat, you know? So there's a lot of background work that people might not necessarily know about. So a lot of the background work, and then honestly just learning about business too. When I came out of school, I didn't know a whole lot about it. So the first year was a big learning curve where I was basically just zipping my mouth and listening to some good mentors I had, trying to learn as quick as I could. And that comes with a lot of stress, you know, with trying to learn a lot while juggle running practice and dealing with figuring out how to run the practice and what we're going to work on and what we need to get better at. And, telling the parents what they want to hear as well as the truth, you know, and not just bullshit them. So,
and you said how many years have you had your club?
We're coming up on 2 years. So
you got any tough guys?
Yeah, we got a couple tough guys. Yeah. We got at the high school level. I mean, Alan Wu, he's a 2-time state champ. He's going into his junior year, and then Eric Klitcheroff, he took third as a freshman, but his family's from Bulgaria and they're pretty wild. So
nice.
They get wild. So they're good to have on our side, you know.
That's awesome. I know a lot of things when I started the Miami Hawks. I didn't have much community support, but I wasn't reaching out either. It's like, you know, what's the saying? Closed mouths don't get fed. Right. So now I'm reaching out more, you know, to push support. Did families give you support down there, over there in Chicago?
Yeah, I was lucky to have some good guys on my squad. And with that being said, through my club, I've made so many connections. You know, like I'll be training a kid for a whole year, and then I come to find out his dad sells cars, and it's like, well, I happen to need a new car. He knows how much I help his kid. He's willing to help me. This other kid, his dad's a dentist. Well, I need my teeth. You know, you make a lot of connections.
A lot of doors start opening.
Yeah, a lot of, especially in the Chicago area. I'm sure it's similar here, but
that's awesome.
I got a lot of parents in my club. I got freaking cops. I got dentists. I got doctors. I got lawyers. I got it all. You know,
connections. That's just connections that you build for the future.
Right.
Awesome.
So like, I'm thinking about your college, 4 or 5 years, right? 4 or 5. We're in the Iowa.
5 years. 5 years for college and 3 years. 8 years total. So.
What's the most memorable experience you have in college out of those 5 years? Whether it's wrestling match, tournament? Tell me
a couple things. So obviously winning the NCAAs, that was big, and throwing Terry and all that.
That was a
big moment. That's probably like the biggest.
That would be the biggest clip ever right now. We were in that time. The biggest clip.
He was saying, "Don't throw me." And you were telling me,
you know what? Let's talk about that.
I mean, it's one of those things where I heard, like, through the grapevine that Terry kind of got, like, a backlash from it, where Iowa's always got a lot of gossip, like, people on the outside trying to stir the pot, right? So somebody said through the grapevine, like, obviously probably not an Iowa guy, but they were saying, oh, there's Terry trying to steal the moment. And me hearing that pissed me off. It pissed me off, but it made sense because we've all heard that type of stuff, and that's what happens when you're the best, right? So that pissed me off. So I didn't know how Terry felt or if he was getting those messages. So I made sure to like let him know, like, hey, even though I said don't throw me, like I was super happy, like looking back on it, that we did that because we made a historical moment. Yeah. My ass was gonna get my hand raised and walk off the mat. I thought that was the most badass thing you could do. I seen a guy I looked up to and watched a lot growing up and throughout my career. I seen him win an Olympic gold, hand raised and walk off the mat, and his coaches were celebrating more than he was, and something about it was just like, that's what I want to do. So that was kind of my plan, but then, like I said, that guy's coaches were celebrating more than he was. Terry was freaking fired up, and he wanted toss, so I threw him, and now it's like a legendary moment. So
Terry's the man.
Yeah, Terry's the man.
Terry Brand.
Shout out Terry Brand.
Yeah. I got a lot of love for both of those guys. I mean, it kind of like it bothers me how much backlash those guys get, because from my standpoint, they did nothing but help me.
Right.
They did nothing but keep me in line. They did nothing but wish the best for me. Right. And, you know, they wanted me to win as bad as I wanted to win, and that's just...
Yeah, but
I have nothing bad I could say about him. You know, Terry used to whoop my ass a lot. I was fortunate because brands don't probably wrestle as much as they used to, but when I was a freshman, Terry wrestled me once a week, and I used to go home I wrestled at the Midlands, and I wrestled the best guys. I don't want to throw names out or make it about talking smack, but I wrestled the best guys at my weight in the country. And I went home for Christmas break, or later on in the year or whatever, and I told my mom, I don't know why Terry Brands doesn't wrestle still. He's way harder than all these guys at my weight. And I would wrestle the number one guy in the country, and it would be a close match, and I would wrestle Terry Brands and get beat 50-0, and I just didn't understand.